not expect this. What is happening, all you sexy YouTube warriors out there? Range Day Bro back at it again, and today we were supposed to be doing a review of the DeadAir Sierra 5, but mine actually exploded, so we're going to be talking about what is going on with these cans. Let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can tell, this is not a great review on the DeadAir Sierra 5 by the title and by the intro. I want to take a minute and just talk disclaimers. What is my relationship with DeadAir? So first and foremost, I did purchase this can with my own money, paid for the tax stamp, and waited about 9.5 months to get it. So yes, I am very upset with the events that transpired at the range. Obviously, it completely catastrophically failing. Also, another disclaimer, I do know Mike Pappas. I have his cell phone number. I wouldn't say we're best buds, but I do know him from industry range events. He's been nothing but good to me up until this point in my career, so I do like the guy. That is not going to affect my review on this product, obviously, because I'm literally showing you a blown up can here. But with that being said, I do think it's important just for you guys to understand what my relationship is with DeadAir and how I got this can and all that good stuff. I did speak to Mike Pappas, and after the range portion, I'm going to be telling you guys what he kind of had to say about this and what is going on with the Sierra 5s. But before we get into all that, let's head to the range portion. You guys can take a look for yourselves and see firsthand what exactly happened to my Sierra 5. All right, guys, so we have the infamous Mark 18, as you guys can tell, the SBR. We have the DeadAir Sandman S on here. This is pretty much what's lived on this gun. We are going to be using this as a little, as a benchmark, as a bench point for how the Sierra 5 performs. So we're going to take a couple shots with this just to give you the sound comparison. So let's see what we got. I got no ears on, so I can tell you guys, we're running 55 grain 223 Federal. That's spicy. Got a little ringing in the ears. You saw the ejection pattern right between 3 and 2 o'clock. Pretty spicy meatball. It's a 30 cal can, although I do have the 5.56 flash hider end cap on here. So let's throw the Sierra 5 on here and do that 210 round test. That's 7 full mags, which is a standard combat loadout. Let's see if it can handle that from the Mark 18. All right, guys, here comes the combat loadout test. 210 rounds through the Sierra 5. Let's see if it can handle it out of the Mark 18. Starting to smoke a little bit. Third mag. $90 rounds down. Goes 120. Ooh, saw smoke come out of there. Got a fire. Got a flame coming out of here. I think it's still tight. Seeing fireballs come out. I don't think my chemo's loose. Seeing fireballs. Oh, we have a failure here, guys. We got a failure. We're cutting the test. Come bring it in here. I'll show you guys this. Oh, we gotta mortar this. Got it stuck around. We had a catastrophic failure. Look at this, man. You guys see that? It's blown out right there. That is no good. I'm gonna have to send this thing back. Have to send this thing back to DeadAir, guys, because as you can see, there are multiple bulges on this. I'll have to get the exact round count from the video, but it looks like we've had some sort of baffle strike. I can't tell. Right now, it looks like the chemo is still tight on the muzzle device. We'll have to wait for this thing to cool down and then reevaluate once we get it off. We'll keep you in the loop. We're just gonna pause the video real quick while this cools down for a few minutes, and then we'll revisit this. All right, guys, so the Sierra 5 has had some time to cool down, and we're gonna take it off. I did check the chemo mount. It is tight. But I could feel somewhere it's wiggling. It's just ever so slightly. I don't know if you could pick that up on camera. Got ever so slight of a wiggle. So we're gonna break this thing loose. See if I can see that on camera. So yeah, it did just come loose. I'm having a lot of trouble loosening this thing. Okay, there we go. It's loose now. Let's see if we can get this off. Really struggling. There we go. I hear something rattling around in there and does not look good. Come in and check this out. So that's what just came out of there, and we definitely had a baffle strike or a baffle explode. Either way, there's a big piece in here that won't come out. So we're gonna get the mount off. We're gonna remove the chemo right now. Just bear with me a second here. There's another piece, a bunch of pieces in this flash hider. So one or multiple baffles failed. We were on round number 113, so barely made it through halfway through the 7 mag test. So 113 rounds and we had a catastrophic failure. Again, I don't believe it was chemo related. It was super tight when we started the test. It was still locked against the lug back here the entire time. So let's get this thing apart and figure out what exactly the damage is. All right guys, I'm gonna try to remove this chemo device from here, but it's on here super tight. So I'm gonna see if I can even get it while we're out here at the range. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there it goes. Okay, just popped loose. So that was not the issue. That was not loose. And as I mentioned, I checked the chemo. That lug right here was locked up against the back of the shoulder on the muzzle device. That's how you can tell if the chemo's still tight. And I was checking that all along. It was up against there, but obviously you saw a little bit of play there at the end once I was going to take it off the first time we touched it after the test. But now I can get these guys off. And let's see what we have inside here. Okay. If you wanna... There's a baffle. And the other half, it looks like. Yeah. So it looks like that was the blast baffle that came out. I don't know if you can catch this in the sun. Looks like that first baffle was what actually broke loose in there and what has been demolished. I can't really tell. We'll shine a light in here and get some more answers for you guys. I'm also going to call Mike Pappas from DeadAir, let him know what we experienced and see what his response is, and we'll let you guys know later in the video what he says and what he thinks may have caused this, or if it was just a failure of the design. All right, so there's a few things I want to just touch on before we talk about the catastrophic failure of the Sierra 5, and I just want to point out the fact that number one, I believe in DeadAir as a company. That's the reason I paid my money to buy this. The reason you see several of their cans on the wall behind me. And so I still believe in DeadAir, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into my conversation with Mike Pappas. With that being said, this can is designed for high firing schedules, literally quoted on DeadAir's website, high firing schedules. So 113 rounds should have never caused the catastrophic failure that we had out of a Mark 18. All right, so before we dive into the conversation I had with Mike, let's talk a little bit more about the suppressor real quick. So here's all the things I was gonna say before it catastrophically failed on me, because I did not anticipate this failure whatsoever. I had seen other reviewers online do much heavier firing schedules with full auto, and this can saw it all the way through to the end and was just fine. So what I was gonna say was, for the weight and for the size, and you know what, you guys don't even care because it doesn't really matter if it blows up and fails a 113 round test. I would like to say all the things, you know, before I exploded this can, I was actually pretty impressed with it. So that's really unfortunate that I'm gonna have to send this back, and hopefully they can repair it. I don't believe any of the serialized portion, this back part right here, is damaged, so I'm pretty sure they can just cut it and replace the top half that is damaged with a better core, better welds, and all that good stuff, which I'm getting, again, ahead of myself here. Okay, so last thing I'll say is life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. So I was very curious to see how DeadAir would respond. So I talked to Mike Pappas on the phone, and of course I'm gonna paraphrase a lot of this. I didn't record the conversation, but essentially what he said was, we up. So right there, number one, was a huge relief to me because he was owning up to the mistake. What he told me was they had a supplier who was making these cans for them and they did not make them to the specs that they required, and that's why we're seeing these failures from multiple cans. He told me they just recently learned of this, so there's no official statement yet. However, they are aware of it, and as DeadAir always is, he reassured me he's going to stand behind all of these products. Anyone who has an issue, they're going to get it corrected. Now, does that make it okay? Does that make your can, you know, magically overnight be fixed or you never have these issues? Obviously not, but life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. That's truly what I believe in. So the fact that DeadAir and Mike immediately were like, yeah, we're taking ownership of this. Now, what does that actually look like? I have no clue, and I don't think they know yet. I think that this is all unraveling very quickly for them, and I don't think that the magnitude of the issue was really being comprehended by them originally. So it seems like more and more of these are having these issues. So I am not entirely sure what their response is going to be, but I know from speaking with Mike on the phone for about 15 minutes that he completely owned it and was like, look, we understand, we this up and we will get these cans fixed. How they go about that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to wait until you have a failure like this, like I did, and you're going to send it back. Again, just the fact that they're owning up to it, they're not burying their head in the sand, they're not lying about it or calling it user error. That was a huge sigh of relief to me, because it doesn't matter what company or what industry you're in, there's going to be lemons, and this one obviously is a pretty bad one. However, again, I believe that his response, and again, that was his response directly to me. I'm not sure what DeadAir as a company is going to come out and state and make a statement or any of that, or what they're going to tell the rest of their customers, but this is all I can give you guys, is what I know, my experience and my conversation I had with Mike Pappas, who is a man, I believe is a man of his word, and I believe that he is going to stand behind these products and get everybody taken care of who has purchased one of these. So does this change my opinion of DeadAir? No, it doesn't. Again, his response was going to be the deciding factor, and the fact that he just 100% was like, yeah, we understand there's a problem, it's up, but so is life, such is life, and so it goes. So I don't really know how they're going to respond, how they're going to correct this issue on a large scale, depending on how many of these are affected by that. However, again, I do still believe in the company, and I still do believe in their products. Again, I have many of their silencers in the back here. When he tells me that it was a production issue from a third party, I believe him, and that's up to you guys whether you want to believe him or not and what he said. But with that being said, I am going to be sending this back to DeadAir, and I'll give you an update video down the road, guys, telling you what my response time was when I got the can back, the condition of it, and we'll re-perform the test, obviously, to make sure that it is up to snuff and to the right specifications, so that it can survive at least that 210 round test. And we might up it even a little bit further, just to make sure that they are doing their due diligence and fixing these the right way down the road, as I'm sure they will be. With that being said, guys, I am not a representative of DeadAir, so anything I said in this video was just, again, based off that conversation that I loosely remember with Mike, but essentially that's how it went. I don't want anybody quoting me as a representative or anything like that. I'm just trying to give you guys the best update information if you own one of these or if you're waiting on one of these, so you don't have to just feel your stomach drop when you see these videos coming out. I do believe that they're going to make this right, and that they're going to get this thing fixed in a quick and timely manner, so that we can get our cans back. Mike has assured me that the issue has been corrected, so any of these going forward will be produced under the right specifications by a different manufacturer. I don't know if it's in-house or who's doing it for them, but he told me that they got that issue corrected, and so you can kind of sleep easy knowing that if you're going to buy one of these in the future, this is a boo-boo I don't believe they'll make twice. So with that being said, guys, that's kind of the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something today, and I hope this made you feel a little bit better if you own one of these or if you've had issues with it. And I want to end on some positivity, guys. So often the internet can bring out the worst in us. Just don't be that guy on the internet. If my mother, my grandmother, my parents, or my coaches, or whoever it is that you look up to in your life, if they would be proud of what you're saying on the internet. And most of the time it's a no, and I've been guilty of it in the past too. But again, guys, so spread some positivity, spread some love. We are the Peaceful Warriors. And with that being said, until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous. Range that, bro. Out.